Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jackie Christie Show.
And I'm like, come on through, Corky. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for B. See, I'm already in some clown stuff. Thank you for clicking on the video. This is my review for Basketball Wives, Season 8, Episode 12. Get it together. Okay. All right. This is the Jackie Christie Show. You see, the crazy is that rub clean off on me. Anyway, we started off with Thomas and Kristen. And Thomas actually said it out of his mouth. He feels like Cece is out for clout. The whole thing with her and Byron, he just feels like she's out for clout. Well, there you have it. Kristen's saying, let's meet with them. Okay, Kristen, listen. You're going to have to get yourself together. Because you're talking out of both sides of your mouth now. It's been, 12 episodes in here. You are talking out of both sides of your mouth. You're saying that you want to patch things up. You want to really apologize to Byron. Sweetheart, it's etched in stone. You can't have a relationship with Byron without having a relationship with Cece, because Byron is petty too, and he's not going to let you. Okay? So y'all all got a little bit of petty going on, and honest to God, Kenzie and Thomas are the ones who are caught in the middle. You, Cece, and Byron are just irritating, to say the least. Y'all want to fight. Y'all are happy in the fight space. The victims here are Thomas and Kenzie. That's it. They're the only two innocent parties. They're the ones who are missing out. And Kenzie's young. She don't even realize it. So ain't no biggie. So right now, y'all are beating the back of Thomas and wearing Malaysia's nerves to the core as well. Malaysia actually met up with Kristen later on, and Kristen's saying, you know, all this here about I'm gonna invite Byron, but I'm not gonna invite Cece to have dinner with us, and we could talk and all of this. Well, when we got toward the end of the program, guess what happened? Kristen, you ended up looking like a fool because, again, Byron is petty, and he didn't say you need to invite Cece. What he did was he stood you up. He stood you up. And then you went right to your petty, and you were, oh, well, I'm really sad that he chose to go to the baseball game as opposed to coming here to eat or whatever. Your petty is no better than his petty. It's just petty, and there really is levels to it, but you're on the losing level because, see, Byron has already shown you that he is completely okay with not seeing you, not seeing Kenzie, and not seeing Thomas if he ain't got to. His petty is an all-time petty. He's the one that's like, yeah, I'm petty, and I got 50 of the cards in the deck. You got 2 of the cards in the deck. What's your petty got for mine? Nothing. And he showed you that. So either you're going to let it go and go on and buy in to his petty and let him be King Petty, or you going to keep being Petty LaBelle and over there trying to battle with him, and eventually you're going to start having some problems with your husband, because I'm looking at Thomas and his interaction, and I can tell you, sis, he's getting tired. He's getting tired of it. So, girl, you better fix it. You better lay low. That's all I got to say. Cece, girl, get out of here. Anyway, moving on. Now, OG went to talk with her coaches. She is officially, I don't even know how this got by me. I guess I got so caught up in all her other bull crap and the fact that I don't care for her that I never even realized that she had gotten to a point where she's retiring. So she's retiring from football and she's interested in being a coach. Um, and she met with them. There's three of them, three, and they're all males. And this will be something groundbreaking. This will be something different. You know, first of all, the female football leagues thing anyway is groundbreaking and it's new and it's, it's really, on the edge. And now she wants to be a coach. Never, not heard of. So, this is the thing. Y'all gonna be surprised because I ain't gonna rip her. I actually enjoyed seeing this part of OG's story because it took away from all the things that I don't care for about OG, and some of her personality traits came through where they actually work in other parts of her life. Okay, so again, not enough to make me like her as a character on the show, but I did enjoy this episode with what they showed of OG. And I wish we could have started here, with this stuff somewhere earlier on, like last season possibly. But anyway, so throughout this, we've seen all of that. OG ends up going to, her first day of coaching. She came in. Right away, it was a good atmosphere because the women who were in the league, and I was kind of worried about this. I was like, are they going to respect her or are they going to shade her? Because you know how people can be. Jealousy is ugly. And, people, especially when you are the groundbreaker, you're the one who's leading the path and creating the lane, you sometimes meet up with backlash, and especially from your peers. So it wasn't that at all. The women welcomed her with open arms. They were glad to see her. And then when they told them she is actually here to coach, those women were genuinely on board. They were genuinely on board. And it was actually good to see. And then to see her doing what she does, I can't even read her. You know how I am. I ain't gotta like you, but I always give credit where credit is due. Just in the scene we saw, she knows what she's doing. She got a whole handle on it. And I personally think that if there's going to be somebody who will be the one that's breaking the ground for being a female coach, I'd have to give that job to OG because she was doing that thing. She was doing it. Those women were listening to her. She was on the ball. I'm not even a big football fan, but I was following what she was saying, and I picked up right away that she knew her shit. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was trying to get them down to. And those men were they were very impressed by OG and her presence over those women and what she had for those women. And this is the thing that I noticed with OG. Possibly OG is just in the wrong set of women as friends, because she didn't even treat those women. She didn't even deal with those women the same way she deals with the Basketball Wives women. She dealt with them with respect. It was like a mutual respect. And there was none of the shady bullshit. None of that was going on at all through that whole segment. You didn't get any of that. None of her vitriol and none of her shadiness and none of that stuff with them. I was like, maybe you're just in the wrong group of women. You know what I mean? Again, there's another lane for you. Get with Shawnee. Maybe there's a whole nother lane for you and you can spearhead a program with these women who actually play football and the way you all interact, because the way you interact with those other women is just irritating. And possibly it'll be a more interesting show of being around women that you actually like. Because I get it that I don't feel like you like that other group of women. I don't think you like them. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. And that's what I'm here to give is my 2 cents. Now, I have to go on to regular scheduled programming. This was the first wig that I kind of liked on OG. And it's not, I didn't like the wig. Don't get me wrong. It's the curl pattern. This curl pattern of hair where it's not flat to her head and it has some body to it. And even the baby, the styling of the wig she had on, I'm going to say thumbs up to. For whatever reason, it softened her up. Even the baby hair. Now, baby hair was just too thick. Everything about the wig was too thick, and it looked very wiggy. It looked very wiggy. But that style of wig, add another $100 to it and get a better version of that wig, and I think you'd be on to something, OG, because I did when she did her profile, they caught her in a profile. You see my my thumbnail. They did caught her in a profile. I was like, now that wig looks nice on OG. That style looks good. I like it. It just needs to be a better wig. That wig is cheap and it's too much hair in it. It had too much hair in it. And it wasn't about the volume, because you can get that volume with less hair. That hair needed to be thinned out, and it needs to be damn wig is cheap. She put another 100 with it, boo, and get you a decent shaboom boom going on, and you'll be okay. That style looked good. That looked good. Okay, so that was that. Now, and then in the confessional, see, she did the OG. You see, she had that same old cheap wig, and then she done went to combing it. So then it went to, I said, girl, wait a minute now. Hold on, baby, because you done went and then start OG in it. And just throw the whole damn wig in the garbage. But add $100, get the upgrade of it. Less hair, same volume. You'll be on to something. Okay, moving on. I know y'all going to get down there and keyboard gangsters, go for it. It's okay. But I said what I said. It is what it is. Moving on. Okay, so Evelyn and Shawnee, these two clowns, they were talking about seeing a matchmaker. Evelyn has a friend that's a matchmaker. They're like, cool, let's do this. They go to a speed dating event. Child, it was a whole mess. A whole mess. But I will say this. Baby, the little 29-year-old guy that Evelyn was sitting across, Evelyn, stop playing games. He was fine as wine. I said, ooh, okay. He was fine. He really, really was. I thought he was sharp. I liked his demeanor and everything. I was like, yeah, he ain't, I don't know, Evelyn. This girl, you just want to have bad juju when it comes to dating or something, because he was cool. She said, I have a daughter that's 24. Okay, and I understand, but you acted like you have these really high standards and you're really this hold up. Come on, Ev. Stop. He was fine. Anyway, then there was the other little guy who was an absolute loser that she talked about. If I was going to smash somebody, it would be him. And then that damn Shawnee, they said, wait a minute, girl. Is that a bald spot in the middle of his braids? So you'd rather have this old coot honey who's pretending to be young, and he sure enough did. When I said, they so shady, baby. They zoomed in, baby. There was all this. I said, girl, it's time to let it go, bruh, because ain't nothing worse. There is nothing worse than a guy to bamboozle you. You get up on him, honey, and he got these dreads or whatever, dreads or braids, and you get in there, baby, and the braids are literally hanging on by minuscule pieces of hair that are barely attached to their scalp, honey. And you got this like thickness of hair just bolted to it, and it's bald spots in your scalp, honey, because your ass is old and tired and the hairstyle has run its course. Or a man who still wearing braids, pulling a Stevie Wonder hairline, back hair, baby, and they got their little braids, and they always got a ball cap on, and you see him, and you be like, oh, he's so cute. Oh, he looks so good for his age. And then the first time you catch him without his hat on, baby, you be like, oh, what is going on, honey? It looked like clown time down to the place, honey. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And I've seen it. I've seen it, honey. Look, I've been bamboozled, honey, but it was a short date. A very short date. Don't come in there playing with me. You come in here looking 30, and then the first time I see you with your hat off, honey, you go to looking 60. Now, you know better than that, honey, if you don't get your ass out of here, you bald-headed ass. And I mean braids, literal cornrows. Start back here. It is never good, honey. I don't need nobody with no skin crown on, honey. Get on here. Ridiculous. Anyway, so I laughed at that real good. Moving on. So we sing Jackie and Cece. And this is where I tell you it's the Jackie Christie show. Now, Jackie ain't felt no kind of way about having to do that lie detector test that she did all and went through all of them changes last week. She sat with Cece, and Cece's like, girl, wait a minute, she did a lie detector test. Oh, girl, she was setting you up. I would feel some kind of way. So I'm looking at Jackie and said, oh, the battery just went in. And now you're being convinced that there's a problem with you and Evelyn. I said, Jackie, now I ain't going to sit and say that it wasn't shady, because it was shady. But Jackie, bitch, you didn't catch it. You didn't catch it, and then you got hold to it later on. And then after she talked to OG, she really was on it. And OG told her, oh yeah, girl, well, we were at Jen's event, and I was coming in there and trying to tell Phoebe to come outside to talk to you or to fight or whatever. They were saying that you and Evelyn were not friends. Phoebe said it, and Evelyn just laughed. I said, oh boy. So the battery was now activated. The on switch has been clicked. So that was that whole thing. Jackie's having this round table, okay, with her podcast. I said, okay, cool. So she has the round table. A bunch of women showed up for it. And Malaysia wasn't invited and Phoebe wasn't invited, but all the rest of the women were actually invited, okay? So I thought this was so tacky, because Jackie Christie, to me, is tacky. She's very tacky. She lives a highbrow life, but she's a little tacky bitch. She sat in that room, and she didn't even realize she did it. You got these women who have all shown up for you, and you're doing your event. You're doing the thing. Jen, in the midst of it, Jen apologized to Cece, and they squashed their little beef. I don't like neither one of them, so it really didn't matter to me. Then Jackie was holding up the podcast on her cell phone, trying to check to see if she got messages and all that. And they're like, well, what's wrong, Jackie? Because they're in the middle of recording the podcast. You looking for Shawnee and Evelyn, and because it really was just Shawnee and Evelyn that didn't show up. Basically, you're looking for them and Kristen. And I felt some kind of way. If I would have been one of those ladies that were sitting there who came to the event, and you're spending time, you're holding up the event, worried about some folks that didn't show up, I would have felt some kind of way. I was like, that's tacky, Jackie. You don't ever do that to people who are supporting you. You never put other people above them, the importance of other people being at an event. I'm telling you, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You don't ever want to offend people who have taken the time out to support you and support what you are doing by worrying in front of their face about people who are not there. It is just tacky, and it does a lot of times make those other guests feel like, what, well, my showing up ain't shit to you? And truly, that is what you're saying, right? Because you so hell bent on these folks that ain't there. That's different if it's like your mother or your father. But I mean, this is just another. There are other basketball wives just like they were. All of them were basketball wives too. They just aren't the ones that are on the show. Tacky, 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 Jackie. Anyway, moving on. So after all of that goes on, oh, and that was the other thing. Then you sat there at the table and talked about it. You sat and talked about those women. And I was like, oh, where's that going to come up again? Because y'all know how y'all do. Because Jen chimed on in, Cece chimed on in. I said, oh, okay. This going to show up again. Where y'all just sat around talking about the other women. I said, oh, God. It's just an ongoing circle. Anyway, moving on. So Cece and OG went down to visit her brother. And the brother's cute. He's cute enough, and he always has a level head, and he always gives Cece good advice and basically calls her out on her bullshit without being offensive on either side. Her brother's cool, and a couple times I've actually seen him. He's cute, and he's all right, dude. Like he's okay. Cece did her normal and backpedaled Pussy Pop Daddy and got to carrying on about how bothered she was by not being invited to Kristen's. Hold up, back up. Now you singing a different song. See, you talk out of both sides of your ass and your mouth. Because you're the same broad that said you don't care. Last time we seen you sit with your brother, you and your mother and them. You said you don't care about Byron's family not being around. You don't care. Not about them not being around, but about them not liking you. That's what it was. About them not like, I don't care if they don't like me and this, that, thing, and the other, and on and on and on. Now all of a sudden you care. Now all of a sudden you're bothered. Which is it? Because I believed you the first time. When you told me who you were the first time, CC bitch. I believed you then. This part right here, I don't believe you. I believe you just played in so you could win. So your petty would rise to the occasion. And it did, because old petty ass Byron didn't go show up for that dinner because you weren't invited. You a hot mess, girl. I told y'all, Patty, honey, that you, Kristen, and Byron, child, y'all all need a strap so somebody can whip y'all, honey. Anyway, moving on. Evelyn and Jackie have a sit down. Evelyn, you need an ass whooping because you sat over there and you swallowed everything, and it wasn't necessary. It wasn't time to swallow everything. It wasn't time to swallow everything at all. This was the time to be truthful, and it wasn't even offensive to be truthful. Jackie tells you basically how she felt and all of that, and you turned around and put it on OG. OG is trying to start trouble. She's an outsider and this, that, and the other. Well, yeah, all those things are true. She's not really an outsider because y'all let her into the group. But she do start shit. She does start shit. And she ain't all that likable. But at the same time, you didn't defend your friendship with Jackie whenever it was brought up. You did laugh. But at the time, it wasn't, I would have laughed too. I might not have defended the friendship. I might have laughed as well. The laugh, even when you look at the clip, we done seen the clip 4 or 5 times. Laughing at it wasn't all that big of a deal. It was funny. The way Jackie was acting was fun. She was acting crazier than Dick's Hat Band. So anybody in there laughing at her, Jackie would have to excuse, bitch, you was acting crazy. You are at an event about a woman who passed away from cancer and she's being honored, and you outside screaming and hollering for some girl who is your children's age to come outside and fight. Bitch, you deserve to be laughed at. You deserve to be laughed at. But the real laugh ain't the one you got. You should have got the real laugh, because it should have been a bitch. If Phoebe was who she claimed to be in the beginning, when we first met her, then we could have got the laugh that we deserved. Because if Phoebe was who she claimed to be, she would have went outside and beat your old ass. And then we would have gotten the laugh that was deserved for what it was that you were doing. But Evelyn, you backpedaled and pussy pop. So girl, hashtag BP and PP. Evelyn, sit all the way down. All the way down. You was out of order, sweetheart. Out of order. And you didn't defend your friendship with Jackie. And trying to deflect and put it on OG. No, sis. You did laugh. You did laugh. And it was funny.